Alright everyone, the story I'm going to tell you today actually happened a couple months ago, but I'm just finally getting around to making a video about it now. Working on moving the one of the raised beds, and because of that I'm adding some more mushroom compost to the soil. So I figured this was a good time to come back to this story since I had wanted to make a video about this. So this is my tale of a fortuitous encounter with a mushroom man. Back in April, Courtney came home one night with a bunch of mushrooms that she got at this local non-profit market. They were locally grown mushrooms. Don't remember what they were called, but they were pink mushrooms, and they kind of tasted like salmon when you fried them up. They were pretty good. But Courtney's been trying to get me turned on to mushrooms for a long time, and I've never really liked mushrooms. This is my whole life. It's never really been a thing that I've been about. But she came home with these that night and said that they tasted like salmon. And that was also when there was a lot of talk about meat shortages. And I mean, the meat shortages, they are an issue. It looks like looks like the supply chains are getting everything figured out, and it looks like things won't be too severe. But I mean, you know, I had somebody ask me a few weeks ago if I thought that meat shortages were going to happen. It's like it already happened. You know, I was seeing rationing in the stores. I was seeing 1 or 2 packs per customer limits. So that was a real thing. Haven't seen those signs recently, so it seems like things are normalizing. But anyway, so that night we fry up these mushrooms, and then Courtney, she pulls up some information on these mushrooms online, trying to kind of win me over and convince me that we should start eating more mushrooms. So she's reading all these health benefits, and I'm just kind of zoning out. So then it gets to the part where it says that during World War I in Germany, they would forage for these mushrooms in the forest and use them as a meat substitute. So that got me thinking, okay, mushrooms as a meat substitute, now I'm interested. And I was thinking, you know, I need to meet this guy who grew these mushrooms down in Cambridge Springs. Well, the next day, I ended up randomly walking into a mushroom shop, a little mushroom farm down in Cambridge Springs, and it turned out to be the exact same guy. So how's that for fate? But anyway, you know, I got some more mushrooms that day, fried those up a few different ways, had them, you know, for breakfast and dinner, had a couple meals out of them. Because I was getting them straight from the source. I got a real good deal on them. And then I also got a bunch of mushroom compost for free. So this is the stuff this is how he grows his mushrooms. You know, this is a compost mixture that's very good for mushrooms. Basically, they grow out of here. You can see there's some mushrooms on there. You use these bags for, you know, I'm not sure, I'm not a mushroom grower. I think it's like a month or 2. And then typically they're kind of spent for the mushrooms at that point. But there's still plenty of nutrients in there for other plants. So, you know, a lot of organic farmers like myself, we really like this stuff. A lot of times the mushroom growers will charge for it, but he gives it away for free because he's got so much of it. So, you know, I got a bunch of that. I spread that around on the garden. Because this was back in April, I was able to work it into the soil on a lot of the beds where I hadn't planted yet. And where I had planted, I just kind of mulched around the base of the plants with it. But my plants have been doing great, and I've been loving working with it. The one thing I will say is I didn't have a control group this year, so I can't really say, well, the plants with it are working so much better. I just know that most of my plants are doing pretty well. So I'll turn this around and show you how I work it into the soil. Okay, so when you get this, it's, you know, kind of a block like this. So I just break some pieces off, and then I just kind of crumple it up in my hands, try to break it up into this like fine sawdusty kind of powder here. And usually to accomplish that, I kind of rub it between my hands, and that gets it, basically powderizes it right there. Be a few chunks that you break up. And then I just kind of work it into this first top couple inches of soil with my hands, and then once I have it have some worked into the soil, I take a little bit more, put another layer on top, and then once I plant, I'll probably still do a little bit more mulching with it right around the base of the plants, and that's about it. So that's how I've been using this mushroom compost. Like I said, I've been real happy with it. I do highly recommend it. And that's my story about a fortuitous encounter with the mushroom man. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something of value out of it. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Till next time, I'll see you around.